You know what's great about the Atari Jaguar? The fact that you could just take any Amiga game and port it over really, really easy. And I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I do the review of Switchblade for the Atari Jaguar.
Second Opinion Games.
Okay, here is my copy of Switchblade that came out from Pico Interactive. And this is the box. As you can see, it's much, much shinier than a traditional Atari Jaguar box, but it is pretty decent quality. Even has a barcode, 64 bits. Okay, so let's tear it open here and get inside. Okay, your standard box there. The manual that is very, very light, but well made. Even has some art there in the back, and impossible. Okay. Woo! It comes with a poster, a two-sided poster. One has Switchblade on it. Okay. Kind of generic looking, though. And on the other side is their other game, Custodian, where you're a janitor run amok. I'm probably not going to get it. Okay. So then here's the card and the insert, and that's it. Okay. Bye. Okay, so this is my game from Pico Interactive, and it's Switchblade. And we had a nice look at the box, so how does the game play? Well, it plays exactly like the Amiga version of the same name. Why they didn't bring us Switchblade 2, which would have been a so much better game, I have no freaking idea. But this is what they went with. You start off above ground with a cool red background, but don't get too used to it, because after the first 30 seconds or so, you fall down a pit and you never see that background ever again, because the rest of the game is all underground. Yeah, kind of weird, isn't it? Now you can go left right off the start, but you'll come into fire that you're going to have an impossibly difficult time jumping over. Yes, you can do it, but it's way too difficult, so instead just run to the right, and then you come to a spot where you have no choice but to fall down that huge pit, and if you take any damage from the start of the game, you will probably lose a life right there, right off the start of the game. To top it off, you only have 5 lives, unless you happen to earn extra lives as the game goes on, so again, this really stinks. And that's because way back a long, long time ago, games had to be Nintendo hard to make it feel like you're getting your money's worth out of it. And this one is no change. So, how does the control scheme work? Well, you have one button to attack. You could hold it in and charge it for a more powerful attack. If it's all the way charged, you can do a leg sweep, which is effective for taking out creatures on the ground. If you only hold it for, say, halfway, you could do a standing kick, and if you just tap it a whole bunch of times, you do a punch. There is some upgrades here where it starts you out a bit farther along on the bar, and to make the bar charge quicker. On top of it, you can find projectile weapons, which is a pretty much a necessary thing for beating the bosses in this game, in which there are at least 5 of them. So, it is a maze. You'll notice that some areas you cannot see what's beyond them until you actually cross a certain threshold. Also, enemies will appear wherever the heck they want to. When you kill them, though, you can go back to a previous room and they never respawn. So it might be a good idea to kill every single enemy along the way. On top of it, it gives you plenty of points for killing these enemies. So if you can do so easily, go ahead and do it, because maybe you'll earn an extra life that way. These enemies are relentless. They always just run straight at you and attack. Even if you're on the ladders, which are equivalent to the stairs in Castlevania. Once you're on them, you can't even attack or jump off or do anything, and a lot of times you're going to be frustratedly hit because of this, especially if you're just trying to do a speed run through this game. You can do a speed run through this game. You'll probably get through it from start to finish in less than 45 minutes. I bet you there's even speedrunners that can do it in 20. It's really not that long, but it is super difficult to make up for it and makes you really, really lost. So it's very difficult to know where you're going without a map, which the game doesn't come with, and I can't seem to find one on the internet at all. So basically, I turn on YouTube and I try to do exactly what they do. And that's really not fun gameplay. At least the big difference between this and the Amiga version is that you can jump using a button and don't have to press up. However, if you do press up on the D-pad at all, you're gonna make that same jump. And it's always kind of awkward, and there is tons of pixel-perfect jumps that you're gonna be frustrated with, because if you miss, you might even fall down a super huge pit and lose tons of your life again, which you don't want to do because limited to 5 lives yet again, and it makes for a very difficult game. If you die, you don't continue or anything. So you have one chance, or 5 lives in one chance, to make it from start to finish. And it's going to feel like a grueling marathon. There is one slight difference between this and the Amiga version, and that's the fact that when you reach a game over in the Amiga version, you could put in your name. On the Atari Jaguar, you could do the same thing, only no, you can't, because it locks up the whole game. I'm assuming because that would actually allow you to cheat, depending on what initials you put in, and it probably messed with something on the Amiga version itself that they couldn't directly port, so they are too lazy to fix this. The music isn't ear-cringy, and it's really not that bad. Matter of fact, it's best summed up as completely forgettable, because I don't remember any of it. Matter of fact, I had to rewatch footage just to make sure the music was even there, because I forgot about it that much. The bosses have very easy and stupid predictable patterns, but if you can't make it to them without a projectile weapon, you will die extremely quick or spend forever just trying to get one hit every 30 seconds or so in on the bosses. Again, not very fun gameplay here, but overall, the game itself isn't bad, it's just a product of its time, way back in the early 80s. Not today, in this day and age, did I think a game could come out with all these problems and not be fixed. Seriously. Overall, through and through, this is a pretty good game. It's just trapped in a time warp and shoved onto my Atari Jaguar. The game's kinda good. You really don't need to add this to your collection if you really don't want to, because it's really not an official game in any means. Matter of fact, it's just an Amiga game. It's kind of dishonest to say this is an Atari Jaguar game, other than the fact that it's on a card. And I'm really kind of disappointed with Pico for this. However, I'm happy that they gave me a game that I could now play on my Atari. So, thanks a lot. And hopefully you guys will take some enjoyment in this review, or some enjoyment in this brand new game for your Atari Jaguar, because I had no idea it even existed for this game system, but I am happy it's there. But that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching. Hello again, I hoped you liked this review very, very much. This is a game I wanted to cover for a while, but I've been putting it off because of its difficulty. Also, this game is so much like the Amiga version. It's down to every bit of slowdown on certain stages when I tried to speedrun it. And yeah, it's exactly like the Amiga. And if you don't believe me, over half of the footage that I put on this review was actually from the Amiga version of the game. Or maybe it's only a third, maybe it's a quarter. I want you to watch and try and figure it out for yourself. Okay, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you again, guys.